Hey guys, so today I'm here with a demo of Corel MotionStudio 3D. Now this program allows you to do some really nice 3D animations and rendering, so for example if you're doing some intros or whatever, it's going to be a great way to go. So let's go ahead and give you guys a demo. Now I'm a giant noob at this, but yeah, well, if I can make something decent, you guys definitely can. So we're going to go ahead and create a D3 Live intro today. We're going to do it in just a few minutes, so it's not going to be particularly great, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Alright, so there's a lot on the screen, but what we're going to do is just going to take it step by step. So the first thing is we're going to insert text, which is up here on the top left. Now here we can pick out our fonts and our sizes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in D3 Live here. And there we go. So once we have it here on our main screen, we can kind of rotate it and see it in full 3D space. But we'll go ahead and undo that, get right back where it was, and go ahead and get started. So the first thing is the color. I don't like that gold. So we can come down to the timeline, click the color, and then we're going to click the surface color and click black. That's typically what D3 Live logo is, so yeah, that'll look nice. And as far as this background, I'm not really liking that, so let's go to the background tab. Now there's lots of different modes. For example, if we just wanted like a white background, we could do that. There's also magic textures, so we can do some magic textures. There's also gradients, video, and image. I'm just going to go ahead and pick out an image. I've already made myself a gradient, so we'll start with this. Alright, so this is kind of like the beginning of it. Now what I want to do is I want to create a 4-second intro. So down here on the bottom left, we can select the number of frames. So since this is a 30 frames per second intro, we're going to go ahead and make it 120, which equals 4 seconds. Alright, so now we have all the basics in place. Now let's see what we want to do. So I'm thinking just as something really simple is I want the D3 Live logo to zoom in and do an entire 360. So what I think I'm going to do is select the camera here. Now from this we can select like different sides if you want to look at it from the back and the front and all that kind of stuff, but we're just going to do something really standard. Instead move this back, so we'll zoom it out, let's say a fair bit, something like that. Alright, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and do some orientation. So right along here we'll select the 30th frame, or as close as we can get, and come up to the y-axis and type in 90. So as you guys can see here, it spins around 90 degrees, and we'll just keep doing this all the way through. So we'll come to the 60 degree and make it 180, and keep on going to here, do 270, and finish it out with 360 degrees. So make it just do an entire 360 degree spin. Now as you guys can see here, I'm using the X, Y, and Z axes. Of course if I wanted to I could manually just drag it, but that's really precise. It's a lot easier. So let's go ahead and click play. As you can see here, looks like a nice smooth animation to spin around. Alright, so we're getting there. Now I think what we want to do is have it zoom, so we'll come over to the camera icon. Now at the beginning of the timeline we have it zoomed out, so all the way at the end we can go ahead and zoom this distance all the way in. So if we play it again, you guys can see here it will be spinning and fly straight into the camera. So I think that looks really nice. Now that's the basics of it. You can see here, it took no time at all, and of course it's not particularly amazing, but it's not too bad. Now we can go ahead and go into effects. Now there are a lot of effects, and I'm definitely not going to try to show you guys them all, but there are some cool ones. So for example, let's do, I don't know, shadow. So we'll add a shadow here, and we have a shadow which I don't particularly think that looks that great, so let's undo that. We can also do fire, so if I want a flaming D3 Live logo, and of course we need a flaming D3 Live logo, so there we go, we have a flaming D3 Live logo. That actually looks really cool. But I think what we'll do is we'll just do some motion blur just to kind of give it a little bit more of a realistic effect. So it's going to run a little slow, but that's just because we're of course doing all this rendering in real time. So spin it around and fly it straight into the camera. So that's going to be pretty much it. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it looks cool. So let's go ahead and export it out. Now there's a lot of options for exporting your images, or rather your models. So you can just export it as a video overlay. You can export it as a 3D model, so for example in all kinds of different programs. And in fact I didn't click this on, but we can turn on the anagraph. So if we turn this on, you guys can see it'll actually be in 3D. So if you do like actual 3D work with your 3D models, and that's not confusing, but you can certainly do that. Anyway, so we can also do some just simple things like exporting it. We can export it to Video Studio, so if you guys use Video Studio Pro X4, you can just export it straight in there, which is pretty simple. But we're going to just do something really simple and export it as a file. So we'll do AVI 30 frames per second, looks great to me, and we'll just do D3 Live logo and save it. So as you guys can see up top here, it kind of shows you frame by frame, shows you how long it's been going, how long it thinks it has, and all that kind of stuff. overall I don't think it turned out too badly, especially with a little bit of background music or some sound effects or something. I think it'd be a pretty decent intro for 3 or 4 minutes of work. Anyway guys, that's going to be about it. If you're interested in picking up Motion Studio for yourself, I believe it's going to run you about $100 or so, which is not too bad. And there is a free 30-day trial, which you can test it out, see if you like it, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway guys, it's going to be about it. If you enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to leave it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more videos like this, be sure to subscribe.